Effects of eating behaviors on self-esteem and stress. Our study aimed to find out if there was a relationship between the quality of people's diets and their perception of themselves and their stress levels. We surveyed 97 UMass Dartmouth students from the psychology research participant pool. We predicted that healthier diets would predict higher self-esteem and less stress. We found a significant relationship between diet score and self-esteem. From past research, we know that eating behaviors influence more than just our physical health and also impact mental health. We also know that healthier eating is linked to improved emotional well-being, while poorer diets are linked to negative effects like anxiety, stress, and lower self-esteem. There are also known links with gender and socioeconomic factors. Our study aims to further this research with our sample of college students and how it affects specific mental constructs.
For our methods, we collected a sample of 97 psychology students. It was a convenience sample, which consisted of 76% women, 24% men. We used three different scales to measure different categories. So we used the Rosenberg self-esteem scale, which consisted of 10 questions. Items 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9 were reverse scaled to get accurate responses. We also used the perceived stress scale, which again consisted of 10 questions. Items 4, 5, 7, and 8 were reverse coded, and it gave us a score between 0 and 40. The lower the score, the less stress participants experienced, and then the higher score, more stress. We also used a 10 item questionnaire for the healthy eating assessment, in which we ask questions like how many vegetables did they eat per day, how many sweets, how many items that contain fat, just to measure, get an overall picture of how well their diet is balanced. They used the 5-point scale Likert system, and this gave us a score of their overall diet. So the lower the score, the lower their healthy eating habits were, and then the higher the score, the healthier they were eating. Once we gathered our data using the Qualtrics questionnaires, we discovered that overall, men and women both had an overall mean score in diet of 30.16 with a standard deviation of 3.77, an overall self-esteem score of 27.72 with a standard deviation of 6.03, and a mean perceived stress score of 19.36 with a standard deviation of 7.84. Male participants, which are 23, had a mean score of 32.04 with standard deviation of 0.91, and female participants, which were the majority, 74 of them, had a mean diet score of 29.58, indicating that males have better diets overall than female participants, as discussed earlier in the discussion, in the introduction. I mean, participants also ranged from 17 to 23 years of age, with the average age being 20 years of age. 68% of our participants were identified as white, 27% identified as black, 2% identified as Native American, 2% identified as Asian, and about 10% identified as other. During our correlational findings, we did find a small but statistically significant positive relationship between diet and self-esteem. The correlation gave us a result of p equals 0.017. This means that people who reported healthier eating patterns also tend to report higher self-esteem. As far as diet and stress, we didn't find that. We found that a small negative correlation between diet and stress levels, but it was not statistically significant. So, because our alpha value was set to 0.05 and our result was a p equals 152, this means that diet did not show a meaningful relationship with stress in our sample.
Regression findings. Self-esteem model. Significant predictor of diet quality. R squared equals 0.058, approximately 6% variance attributed to diet. In short, higher diet quality equals higher self-esteem. Stress model, not significant. In our study, diet did not significantly predict perceived stress. Discussion. Diet strongly linked with self-esteem, not stress. Roughly 6% of variance in self-esteem attributed to diet. Stress likely influenced by multiple lifestyle factors. Findings aligned with prior research. Self-report plus sample limitations noted. Limitations were a convenient sample of psychology students, gender imbalance, self-report bias, and recall limitations in diet recall. And lastly, correlational study cannot determine causality.
Some implications our study focuses on is universities should support nutrition education, counseling services may consider dietary behaviors, healthy eating may improve self-esteem, and stress requires broader holistic interventions. And finally, to conclude our presentation, diet quality predicts self-esteem. Diet does not predict stress. More research is needed on this. Healthy eating remains important for psychological well-being. Take care of your gut and your brain. And future research should examine additional mediators. Thank you.